Hi, everybody. Welcome to the August 27, 2024 Marion Institute South Coast Food Policy Council quarterly meeting. This is intended for anybody from the public to be able to join. So we're glad you're here. Thank you so much. So I'm letting in people, and this is going to help me out letting in people. Okay. So it's good to have you guys here. So what we're going to do is Liz, I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Sounds good.
Okay.
In the room.
Okay. And we will go. So everybody, welcome. Welcome. If you could put into the chat right now where you're calling from. So if you could put your name and the town you're calling in from, that'd be great. Thank you so much. So welcome to the Marion Institute South Coast Food Policy Council quarterly meeting. We have a lot to go over today, but for right now, we're gonna move on. So today, what we're going to talk about is the South Coast Food Policy Council's successes and updates on what we've been doing. We're going to have a Farm Bill action alert that we're going to share with you. We're going to talk a bit about Frogfoot Farm and several volunteer opportunities to get involved with us. We're going to talk about the food summit that's coming up in September. And then we want to open it up to all of you if you want to share whatever is happening in your world. We are very interested in hearing what is happening in the community. So we will open it up to share that point. At any time, you can jump into the chat and share any questions you have. We'll be monitoring the chat through there with some of our staff that are here today. So what we'd like to do is just start the meeting with a land acknowledgement. I invite you to take a moment and just to quietly read through the land acknowledgement that we have. Okay. Thank you. So I wanted to share with you, if you haven't heard of the South Coast Food Policy Council, just a little bit about our structure. So we do have a community advisory board, which is made up of about 29 different people from across the region, from Fall River to Wareham, and some people on the Cape and Islands as well. And this community advisory board is the group we worked with when we established our priorities. We published the 2021 Southeastern Food System Assessment, and this group of people, the community advisory board, worked with us to develop the priorities. Within that, we developed 4 working groups, which I'll be talking about in a moment, but their working groups are food access, food policy, capacity building, and education and communication. We are also comprised of some staff that we have. We have Liz Wiley, who's our executive director of the Marion Institute, and Rita Higgins, who's the director of food access and innovation. And collectively, we work together with all the community members, the working group and the community advisory board, on all the different pieces. We also have 4 food equity advisors. Food equity advisors are people in the community that have lived experience of hunger. And they are in our working groups and in our community advisory board. So people enter in where they feel most comfortable. So that's a bit about our structure. Every year we do have some regular events that we do host. The top of the year, we have a legislative breakfast. And during the summer, we have our Eat Local South Coast Challenge. In September, we have our Hunger Action Month. We'll be talking a little bit about that, and our Food Summit. And during the year, we actually do advocacy and lobbying. So we did our first HIP Lobby Day this past year in the spring, where we brought several members from the Community Advisory Board and Food Equity Advisors to the State House, and we talked about fully funding HIP. We also have, as you are well aware now, we have quarterly meetings for anybody in the public who wants to jump in and join and find out what we're doing. We also have created a legislative advocacy 5-module training that we have developed through a grant with Project Bread. And we have implemented that training with the different partners that we have. But if you are interested in receiving that training, please let us know. We would love to work with you on that. We also have new technology that I'll be sharing with you through Action Alert. When we have a legislative advocacy alert, we use this technology now. And we also do a candidate forum, which we're going to do this year. Every 2 years, the state legislature is up for election. When there's a contested race in our area, we will hold a candidate forum. So we're going to wait until after the primary this year and see what our field looks like and invite candidates together to talk about critical food system issues in our region. So those are our main annual events that we do. Now for the successes and what we've been able to achieve in the working groups themselves, I'm just going to give you some highlights from what we've done in the policy working group this year. So in the policy working group, we collectively work together with the Women's Alliance of Southeastern Massachusetts and the Greater New Bedford Youth Alliance to put on a legislative breakfast. 130 participants came. We had Congressman Keating and McGovern presenting national issues, and we had 7 state local representatives there, and we were able to help create relationships within that legislative breakfast. So that was a great success. The second bullet item, we have encouraged and engaged the members at large to send 166 letters through our various advocacy actions to help really fund a lot of the priorities in the food system. So that was great. And we sent 8 people from our community advisory board and working groups to the State House to lobby on HIP. And I did share that earlier with you. We met with 12 legislators, which was fantastic. And it was a great time for everybody. Some people, this was their first time doing it. It was a huge empowerment process. We also developed the 5-module legislative advocacy training. Again, if you are interested in that, please contact me at sfpc@maryinstitute.org. We also sent several letters to the Senate Ways and Means just before the end of the session to make sure that our priorities, trying to get those priorities into the funding stream. We have done some other things in the working groups as well. The Education and Communication Working Group worked really well, and we put together the Eat Local South Coast Challenge, and we had volunteers from our Education Working Group to go out into the community and register more people. So we had 416 people registered this year, which is double from last year. So thank you to all the members that were involved and all the people in the community that were part of the Eat Local South Coast Challenge. And we, in our capacity working group, we have initiated an audit. Oh, Liz. Oh, sorry, you're on mute.
I'm just clapping for
thank you.
the doubling of
Awesome.
our numbers in the local challenge.
Fantastic.
How many people participated? Anybody on here have participated in that? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, love that. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. All right. We do have a capacity building working group, and they've been working very hard on trying to identify what is a particular gap in our area. And we've been looking at asset mapping, and we came across a tool called the CARROT tool, which is the Community and Agricultural Resiliency Audit tool. And so we are actually using that to go through and figure out where we have gaps and where we have strengths. And each working group is taking part in this and adding information into this community and an agricultural resiliency audit tool. By the end of this, we hope to get a very good sense of where we need to put our efforts in the coming years ahead. So they're working very diligently in every working group on this one, but it came out of the capacity building working group. We also have the food access working group, and working together, With the Greater Boston Food Bank, which has a USDA commodities program, we were able to convene, which is one of our mission priorities. We convened different partners together over a 5-month period, and we brought in an additional 942 cases, or roughly 17,000 pounds of food, into the local food pantries in the greater New Bedford area. This was a huge success for all the partners involved, and the idea was just simply, how do we increase food going into the food pantries in our region? So if you're interested in this and you are an agency of the Greater Boston Food Bank, please let the Greater Boston Food Bank know you are interested in something like this. That's the process that we're using. It'll come through them. So those are the main pieces of successes that we've been through so far this year. I'm going to stop there because I've done a lot of sharing. And are there any questions or thoughts or chats that we should be aware of? Okay. Any questions on some of those successes and updates on where we've been going? Okay. Feel free to just continue having conversation and then chat, and I'll keep going with that. So the next piece I'm going to talk about is actually an action alert. For those of you who are aware, I have been sending out action alerts this past year, and I'm going to share within the meeting our latest one. Right now, although the state is in recess, it's actually in the informal session, we're continuing to work on the Farm Bill. And just to preface that, being aware that what is happening with the elections, we're not going to see anything pass at the congressional level at this point, but just to be aware, we want to continue to promote the Farm Bill. And in this case, we're really putting the action alert is about promoting SNAP and making sure SNAP is fully funded within the Farm Bill. So that action alert is in there. And I'm going to go back to the screen share. So we want you to contact your House members. This is for anybody, the way I have it set up is for anybody living in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. You can send a letter, just click on that link that I put in the chat. And it's a simple form where you're just going to type in your name and your address, and it'll go off to your congressional representative. We want to protect and strengthen the SNAP in the upcoming Farm Bill. And we want to oppose the National Security Act of 2024, which would weaken or cut a lot of money out of SNAP. So that's our current legislative alert. If you are not a member of the members at large, you can email sfpc@marioninstitute.org, and you can receive those action alerts as well. So where I'm going to go now is Frogfoot Farm. So for those of you who are aware, in the past, through the 2021 Southeastern Food System Assessment, within the Community Advisory Board, we had identified gleaning as nascent in our region and trying to get more culturally appropriate and healthy foods into the food pantries as 2 priorities. And those priorities were put into the Food Access Working Group. So the Food Access Working Group really identified the idea of we need more gleaning in our area, and we need to have more fresh and nutritious food going into the food pantries as a key component. So working in partnership with AD Makepeace, we are leasing a little piece of land that you can see an aerial view of. And we are working with our 2 new staff that we have hired. And these are some ways to get involved with Frogfoot Farm. So we have 2 events that we encourage you to join. One is Meet the Farmers. You can meet Hannah and Scott by joining any of our Meet the Farm team events that we have. It's basically a brown bag lunch held at AD Makepeace, where we have the land, and you can see Hannah there. and she's working on our property there. And you can take a tour, so you can meet the farmer and take a tour of the farm. Our next one is on September 18. So if you want to join that event, you can contact Hannah, and her email address is there. If you also want to volunteer on the farm, you can contact Hannah, and I'm going to open the mic to Hannah. Hannah, you are on the call. Do you want to say anything encouraging people to contact you or join these events?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Christine. Absolutely. We are one of the biggest focuses of Frogfoot Farm is that it's community members helping feed other community members. And so engaging volunteers from our community in the work that we're doing is really key and central to achieving that work. And as much as Scott and I are doing ourselves, it's a 6-acre farm and there is always tons to do and it's a lot of fun. There's always a lot to learn. Every step of the way we're doing something interesting and something, to really help us achieve our goals of increasing biodiversity and habitat and support and climate resiliency and growing food and all of the above. So I definitely encourage you to at least come to the Brown Bag and see the farm, but definitely sign up and volunteer. We will be working throughout the fall. It'll be something fun to do on a beautiful fall day in October when the cranberries are being harvested around us and nice, cool, crisp air. So I definitely hope to see a lot of you out there. Thanks.
Thank you, Hannah. This is a fabulous opportunity to get on the ground, boots in the ground, literally at the farm. So we encourage you to jump in there. And if you know anybody who's interested in volunteering, thanks, Josh. Please share Hannah's contact information. That'd be great. All right, I'm going to go back to the screen share and talk about our next event that we have. On September 18, this is an event at night, we are having our annual virtual food summit. And this year is changing. We are really talking about shifting perspectives from food security to food sovereignty. Our keynote speaker will be Allison Cohen from the National Right to Food, and we will have panelists from talking about fair and living wages, price gouging and the true cost of food, food and seed sovereignty, and the root causes of food insecurity. Details for the registration will be out soon. We are just finalizing some particular details, but it is a virtual event. So anybody can jump on September 18 from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So we'll be sending out the details and the registration link very soon. And that's my contact information. And that's all we have. We really wanted to share some time and open it to the community to hear what's happening in the food world in your world. So we invite you to jump off of mute and share with us what is happening. What would you like to share with the community if you have anything that's happening?
Hi, this is Cheryl Greenfield. Can you hear me?
Yes, Cheryl.
I apologize. I'm driving. So I think that everything that you've talked about, everything that you're doing in access and advocacy is really awesome. Right now, I am looking at bridging the gap between access to fruits and vegetables and whole grains and actually eating plant predominant diet. And I'm partnering with Raising Healthy Hearts at Mass General Brigham. We have a grant to do a teaching kitchen, and it can be a modified teaching kitchen. So I'm looking for a place where I can bring families with children to learn to prepare and enjoy food that's predominantly plant-based. If it had a kitchen, that'd be great, but we really only need to be able to bring like a microwave. So if anybody on the call knows of such a place, that would be, I would love to hear that.
Hey, Cheryl, this is Liz, and Rita
Hi.
and I were just having this conversation about half an hour ago, so your ears must have been ringing, because she said that she heard from you about this. So I have a couple of ideas. Damien's, with their new food pantry, they built in space to be able to do exactly some of that, some education, and they don't have a kitchen, a commercial kitchen by any means, but they have space that, you could set up a table and have hot plates or microwave, whatever it is that you want to do some of that. An interest in doing some of that. I'm on the board there and would be happy to work with you to facilitate that. And then we do have potentially another kitchen in Wareham that might be accessible, but I would need to do a little more digging on that. So we're already sort of brainstorming for you. So let's just connect. But if anybody else has any ideas, shout them out now. But I just wanted to let you know that we've already started having that conversation in-house for you.
Excellent. So I will email you later today.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other ideas? I don't want to. Abby, any thoughts around that with coastal?
I have some
Day?
ideas.
Yeah, Leah, come on.
I would love to partner with you, Cheryl, because I'm trying to do that in Fall River and would even be willing to come to, I think you said New Bedford. Wareham. That's close too.
Cheryl, does it matter where you are? Because I know you're in. Cheryl,
So,
give a little bit of, tell people who you are, because.
Thanks. I am a pediatrician in Marion, and I am a member of the Academy of Lifestyle Medicine, of which one of the pillars is predominantly plant-based diet, along with other healthy lifestyle actions. And I am bringing this to the population in order to improve health. That studies show overwhelmingly that plant-predominant diets allow decreased incidence of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and my role at this time is to advocate to see healthier populations, decrease medical costs, longer longevity. That's what I'm doing. I have
Wonderful. Awesome.
one other interesting tidbit, which is that for every increase of one fruit or vegetable, there is a decrease of 1.4% incidence in chronic disease. So every little bit makes a difference. The person who spoke, since I'm driving, if you could maybe if Liz could connect us, because we could absolutely partner, perhaps together, perhaps two separate events, because the Raising Healthy Hearts grant is for a variety of different opportunities to bring plant-predominant eating to the populations in the Massachusetts area. So that'd be awesome.
Got it.
Well, thanks, I'd love to.
Fantastic. Other ideas or other partnerships there? Okay. Anybody else want to share what is happening or looking for, you have a problem you want to brainstorm in the group?
Or update? Come on. I'll call on you people. Rob, I think giving an update on yesterday would be awesome. If you're still there. Rob Shaheen is on the call today. He is the food service director for the New Bedford Public Schools. And yesterday, we partnered with Rob and our Grow Education program. Our Grow Education program is our farm to school program. We are currently in 4 different school districts. Started with Rob, though. This all began with Rob in New Bedford, and we are in the 19 elementary schools, having built gardens at all of these elementary schools and done professional development with the teachers in the elementary schools and year-round programming with the kids. We've been at this since 2019, and yesterday we had a professional development day at Round the Bend Farm for 160 of New Bedford Public Schools cafeteria employees, which was incredible, right? For all of them to see what we're trying to recreate in the schools, see what Rob's trying to recreate with the building of this culinary center that is in the works right now with the goal of being in that building at the beginning of the school year. There you are, Rob. I'm stealing all your thunder. I was just giving a quick update on yesterday and what an amazing day that was, but you finish up. I don't know how much of that you heard.
Sorry, yeah, I guess, stuff happens when the school actually started last week in some sites, but we did the summer program. We did over 100,000 meals this summer for children and students in the city with the summer program, so that was exciting. And like Liz was saying, we had our professional development day for all the staff. We do that once a year. And this year I thought it would be great to wrap around all of the great things that we've been doing with Liz and the Merit Institute in terms of the Grow Education program and the gardens, and get the staff to really connect to all that now that we've done it with the students. So we had about 160 people at Round the Bend Farm yesterday. Weather was beautiful. Nate and Liz's team did an amazing job setting it up and having the folks at Round the Bend Farm conducting some training with them out in the farm and in the main building. So it was great. It was really nice to see the staff getting excited about the things that we've been doing there in the schools with the kids in the garden and so forth. So that was exciting. And then, like she was saying, in terms of the central kitchen, I think we're about halfway there in terms of in the next 3 months, 4 months, maybe the beginning of the year, we could actually be moving in. So that would be exciting. And that'll have a much bigger capacity to produce more meals and do more of the speed scratch cooking items, getting more local procurement with fresh fruit and vegetables, and just adding to the menu and just making it more amazing, for the students in the district, right, and probably other parts of the South Coast too. So we'll be working on that very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought one of the things that I walked away from yesterday was Desi was on site and did a couple of slides, and they had a stat that I thought was fairly staggering, which is 7 out of 10 kids get their most nutritious meal from their school lunch, is their school lunch meal. And that's in Massachusetts. 7 out of 10 kids get their most nutritious meal from their school. And
Yeah,
so
we have a huge impact on it.
yeah, that's massive. Yeah, that's right, Rob. Any thoughts, questions, feedback? Would love to hear it.
This is Carrie Saltonstall speaking, and I wanted to answer to Cheryl or share an idea that Damien's Food Pantry is serving probably 300 people each time they're open or more. So they're getting a lot of people from all around the region. And they have had different kinds of programs where people could get a crock pot, for instance, if they took some cooking lessons or something like that. So it just might be a good place to recruit people. We're happy to pass things out as guest register, like a flyer or something, for people to participate in your Raising Healthy Hearts program. Thanks.
Thanks, Carrie.
Josh, I know you had unmuted yourself earlier. Do you want to share?
Not too much of an update, just I'm sure we're all seeing this, but we're just getting really strong demand. A lot of calls coming in. Greater Boston Food Bank, we're very reliant on. They do an incredible job, but we are having a hard time, keeping the value where we want it to be for our deliveries. The summer tends to be tough for a lot of the families that we're serving. But we're just seeing noticeably strong demand right now.
Thank you, Josh.
Pam, I saw you popped on here. I'd love an update from you. I mean, what are you seeing? We haven't really
I know, and I apologize, guys. It
direct
just seems like,
updates.
yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I apologize. I know I haven't, it's been a crazy few months. And I am hoping eventually I can get Jen to participate so she can give you some specifics, but it's been very busy at the food center. We've had, we've had upwards of 1,000 people a week. I think last time we looked at, I think we were around 800. And so our numbers are definitely high. Even this week, this past week, we actually had to purchase retail meat because we didn't have any protein, and I think we're running low already, and it's up to Tuesday. So yes, the supply has been a challenge from that standpoint, but we're still working with the farms, and we've got fresh produce coming in. Just do the best we can. So that's where we're at.
I'll echo that. Meat is a real problem for us right now. I'm already nervous about turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Did you order? We already put our order in for that.
Same, but we're not going to be able to get as many as last year from the food bank, so we're already looking into other sources.
Yeah, same with us. Although in the last couple of years we've implemented also doing gift cards that will cover the and so I think we're kind of we're going to do a hybrid of the gift cards and the turkeys this year, and it's actually worked out really well. In terms of like we've ended up with enough turkeys, and the remaining families have been satisfied if we have gift cards that they can run to the store. So that's a suggestion.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. We have talked about that, so good to know you've been getting good feedback. Thanks.
Any indication from Greater Boston Food Bank of why there's another issue with supply and specifically with meat? I mean, this is what happened last year, probably right around this time. That was the reason why we started having the emergency SFPC meetings again, which led to the pallet program that we did with you guys. Pace. I see Brooke on here too, and Pam. Yeah. That really helped to bring more food in. But is there an update on what's happening specifically? I mean, last year it was like they didn't have enough people there.
Yeah, I'm not aware of what the reasoning is, and I don't know whether it has to do with wherever their supply is. I don't know if maybe Brooke has a better sense of that, and I haven't. Honestly, that's a great question, and I hadn't asked that question. So it would definitely merit trying to at least find that out.
Yeah, we did mention it. We actually had our annual well, I don't know if it's annual. I think it's 18 months. But anyway, our inspection yesterday, virtual, and we actually complained about that to our inspection person. And she said that she would bring it back, but they don't really have, and we've also mentioned it to our ordering person, our direct contact there that we deal with, and ask them the same thing, but we can't seem to get a pinpoint as to why. It's just, I don't know if it's just what's going on right now, they're not getting it, or if they've been just still pushing a lot of USDA. I don't know exactly what's going on. They were really clarifying it with us either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. In general, I find their communication very good to their partners. I haven't really heard on that one. I will say in terms of the turkeys, it's clear to me that they're just trying to spread them around better than past years. Maybe some of us that order a lot, we were able to secure more. I think they're spreading it around to all their agencies more this year. So that is a good thing that they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And Brooke, would that be something that could be addressed with the pallet program?
We don't tend to get the meat for the pallet program. It's more the USDA products and the dry goods.
Right.
So yeah, so that's probably not going to be much
Okay.
of a change for the pallet program part itself, but it's just actually be able to get an order in of any type of a meat from Boston has been difficult lately. So it's just been short on the list, even for our regular ordering, not counting the pallet orders. It's just not there, not available.
One thing we should mention though, Brooke, is we are in the early stages of developing a seafood program with fishing fishing boats and fish houses. When I say early phases, like we're just in the preliminary kind of detail work on that, but we are hoping to get that up and running with some initial funding. So it's not a donation necessarily. We would pay, but we pay at a, you know, kind of a reduced rate, but it's a way to try to reclaim some of the you know, potential overages that some of the boats end up having to throw back in as not that are no longer viable. So, so there's several processes. We're doing it in Tony Cabral's office was the one that first brought it to us. And so it's just really been in like the last 2-3 weeks that we've been talking about it, but we'll keep everybody posted. It's really an exciting proposal, and I think if we're able to pull it off, it'll be great. And I think, you know, there's a lot of commitment from the fishing industry to kind of make this work. So so stay tuned.
Pam, does that extend at all to aquaculture?
At this point, it's related directly to the fishing catch from the fleet.
Yeah.
I think if we figure out how to make, you know, kind of make all the dots connect, we could definitely, you know, look into expanding it. But yeah, that would be really interesting if we could make that happen too. So it's definitely on our radar as a piece of it as well. And it ties into, you know, just supporting the fleet too, and some of the kind of the community support Vineyard when it is involved as well of the fishing fleet. So stay tuned. It's a
Yeah,
when we
Pam,
have a
I'll
little
definitely-
more to report out at the next quarterly meeting.
Yeah, I would love to stay connected.
I'm sorry.
I said, Pam, I want to stay connected with you on that. Just I just joined the New Bedford Ocean Cluster Board specifically to work on an aquaculture subcommittee, because aquaculture is really struggling these days. I don't know if anybody's been following the policy that's been going on with aquaculture, but it is
Yes.
industry that's getting hit hard. And you know, it could be such an incredible source of protein in the food relief system. I mean, I think we tend to think of aquaculture as this, like, I don't know, fun, you know, summer party food, right? But the reality of the industry being a really important partner in the food sector and food system and food relief system is really important for us to recognize and to support. So I think just think about that, Pam, and let's stay connected on that too. Okay, other updates, y'all.
Mia posted a question in the chat. She said, I have questions about the gift card program and what restrictions stores are allowed to place regarding the turkey purchase program. Anybody have a response?
Yeah, I don't know, and Brooke, you can jump in if I misspeak, but there really aren't any restrictions necessarily, so it's not like we get cards that are specifically for turkeys. Some of the so in some that comes through the food bank, sometimes it's just stores donating to us, so there really isn't a restriction. The thought is that it'll all purchase food that might be culturally relevant to them, because maybe turkeys aren't what they typically eat during the holidays. So so we haven't found any restrictions necessarily based on, yeah, sorry guys.
Okay, no, thanks, Pam.
Yeah, yeah.
We're breaking up a lot.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we haven't really had any restrictions on what they can use it. And they're usually like $20 or $40 cards. So it's not like it's a huge amount. And usually we do the cards with sides.
Cool.
Yeah, essentially the gift card would supplement whether they want the turkey or not. If they don't want a turkey, then they would get the card so they can, like Pam said, purchase a different type style meat or, you know, food that they want, but they still get all the extra condiment food and side items for their meal if they like it.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Mia. Get better.
Oh well.
Any other updates? Anybody want to share what's happening?
Hi, I'm Gianna Barbosa. I'm the Vista member here for AmeriCorps at UMass Dartmouth. I'm helping to organize a food revolution fair for the students on campus. We're going to be focusing on increasing SNAP usage. We're going to be giving out free fruits and vegetables to students on campus. We're hoping to get together a debate panel to talk about food justice topics, talk about plastics in the ocean, plastics in our food, stuff like that. We're organizing a few different activities and stuff like that to help get the students on campus aware of what resources we have for food, as well as increasing our access, and to introduce them to different volunteering activities in the area. I'd like to take a second to invite any of our local partners on the chat who might be interested in joining. We'll be having tables for any groups or organizations who would like to come to promote what you guys are doing, any volunteer activities that you guys may have. It's gonna be October 29th. It's a Tuesday. It's gonna be from 10:30 to 3 in the afternoon on campus. If anybody's interested, they can put their email in the chat, or I through my email in the chat, you can email me, whatever would work best. We're hoping just to have some people come out and talk to our students. There'll be a few different activities to make sure that everybody's getting something out of it, to make sure engagement's up, and we're hoping to have a few different groups there.
That's awesome. Really happy to hear from you and happy that you're there in that position. We've worked with other past Vistas at UMass Dartmouth, all wonderful. So we'll definitely be there and support that. And we would love for you to work with us to be a conduit to getting the word out about the food summit that's happening on September 18th. In the past, we've partnered with UMass Dartmouth on that food summit. And it's always great to really get the community of UMass Dartmouth students involved in, the food summit as well. So I got your email written down and you will be hearing from us for sure. So glad that you're here. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Others? Abby, you want to give us an update on Coastal Food Shed's new digs?
Hello, sorry, my kids are home, so it's a little hairy here. Yeah, we moved into our new spot in July. We actually are hosting our first pop-up. It's happening right now. So we have a great new space. We have a great new cold storage unit, which will allow us to hopefully keep just moving larger amounts of local food. I will say, I kind of tagged Gianna and Josh from My Brother's Keeper. We do have another program, our HIP delivery pilot program. So if anyone has SNAP customers or works with SNAP clients that are, kind of congregated in one space, or could easily come do like a pickup, we can bring bags of local food right to your location that SNAP customers, we can do like on a monthly basis for the $40, $60, or $80 value, and SNAP customers can get their bag of local food and get their HIP benefits in one like simple transaction. So we've been looking for community partners where it makes sense to be able to do that. So reach out to me or Stephanie or Maisie at Coastal Food Shed if anyone thinks that that could be a good fit. But yeah, I don't know. Is that a good update, Liz?
Perfect. Yeah. I want to come. I want to come I want to come see
Yes,
it.
well, we're going to be having like a little ribbon cutting, and then we're aiming for November, hopefully, to have like a come check it out. And yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can't wait.
Cool. Yeah,
Where
we're
is
excited.
it? Where is it?
We're right at the Kilburn Mill, right next to where Dadley Doco used to be. We're right on that end spot. So it's a great space. And our phase 2 of it is to open a retail shop, so that we can be open like more consistently and more hours to the public. So that's hopefully sometime next year. That's our goal.
Abby, that is so exciting. Yes.
No, it is. We're very excited to have our own little home finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Others want to share?
Reverend Lima just got off, but I was going to have him give an update about the Hunger Sabbath if you want to do a little quick update of just where we are with that, and if anybody has any outreach on that level that they want to, participate in.
September is Hunger Action Month, and we have been working with our faith partners to find a way just simply to elevate hunger awareness and potentially highlight what is already happening in faith communities, because they're already doing a lot. So some of the partners in this little subcommittee are really working to see if we can get on the radio and just highlight the issues that are happening in our region around food issues. And we want to, as a SFPC, we're going to just post some resources for faith communities to use. It's more that, but for the community, we just would love to see more awareness of what's happening in the food system and locally. And so this is just a highlight in the faith communities. So that's where we're at. We're still working on it.
Well, we're building relationships, so this is really a call out. So if you feel like you have a good relationship with either your personal faith, partnership, or want to make some connections, we'd love to hear it. I think this is a period of time where we're just really trying to build those relationships out individually, one congregation at a time, really. So with the hope that in time we'll build more and more momentum to really bring September Hunger Sabbath to full force reality on the South Coast. So.
You may have already had this conversation, but I've been really impressed with what New Life South Coast is doing in New Bedford. They have a pantry. They're just very active and engaged, an extremely large congregation. I would encourage you to reach out to.
What is it called again, Josh?
New Life South Coast.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They've been an amazing partner for us.
Okay.
And who would be the point of contact that you would recommend that we reach out?
I'll send that on to the two of you.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's great. That's exactly what we wanted. All right. Any other updates before we let you all go and get 10 more minutes back to your day? Hey, I see Liz Miller on here. Liz, you want to say hi and introduce yourself? There you are.
I am happy to. Sorry,
There you are.
sparing my eyeballs today. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to say a quick hello. I'm really just kind of listening and learning. But my name is Liz Miller. I work for Spoonfuls. Some of you might know us. We were loving Spoonfuls until just a few months ago. So we are a food recovery organization. We're based in Greater Boston and Newton, but we work across the state, Greater Boston, Metro West, Worcester County, and Hampden County. And we are exploring geographic expansion of our work. So that's why I'm here to learn. We're not yet in like a decision-making spot with that, but we have been exploring kind of Bristol County and Plymouth County areas and really just wanting to learn from partners about kind of what the landscape is like with food recovery and kind of where we can be supportive. So I've been taking notes and writing down names and emails. So I think some of you will probably hear from me after this call. But yeah, and just I say we're food recovery, and many of you are probably familiar with that. But if you aren't, we work to bring perfectly good food from where it is to people who need it. So we work with about 90 vendor partners. We're primarily in the grocery retail space. And our focus is on fresh. So about 70% of what we recover is fresh fruits and vegetables, meat and dairy, and we operate with a professional team and a fleet of refrigerated vehicles to get that done. And we serve about 190 nonprofit partners across the state. So I'm happy to connect with any of you. I'll drop my email in the chat. And as I said, I think some of you might be hearing from me after this. So yeah, thanks for having me. It's
we're
great to
happy to-
be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Liz.
Mhm.
See, I told you all I'd put you on the spot if you all stay quiet. All right, I think if nobody else has an update, then we will bring this to fruition and give you time to prepare for hopefully lunch and not another Zoom meeting. Thank you all for joining us today.
Take care. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.